Right, I'm filming this from Harbron Wood in Stockton, in Norton. I was part of a campaign to save this woodland from development in 2018-2019. McCarthy and Stone was going to clear all these trees and build a massive block of flats what would overlook the entire area. And they were going to get rid of pretty much everything that was here. There was a big campaign, 2,000 people signed a petition against the development. There was a lot of other factors such as drainage and effect on the traffic and all stuff like that, and we actually won the case and saved the woodland. And it was a question of what would happen next. And on the back of all that, a committee was set up to preserve and protect the woodland for future generations and to promote it and involve local community in woodland activities and things like that. Now the priority was the wildlife, and a pledge was put in, a constitution was written up and submitted to the council, which involved promoting, advertising, taking photos, things like that, promoting the site, involving government grants to put a footpath through it, and generally to do things to improve wildlife. But at some point in 2020, the committee decided that there were too many trees, and they decided, we're going to they're too etiolated, they're too thin, they're too tall, there's ivy growing up them, let's get rid of loads of trees. And they said it would promote wildlife. Now they already knew from the ecological surveys and footage that I'd submitted of bats actually roosting in the trees concerned and using the ivy that was up the trees to nest in. There was also owls living in the trees, and there was hedgehogs in the undergrowth. And we had arguments, and I left the committee on the basis of this because I wasn't happy about the fact that they were basically not considering wildlife at all and were prepared to actually get rid of a lot of the woodland in the name of protecting wildlife. Now after I left, they sent people in December 1st 2020 and chopped down most of the mature trees in the actual woodland. And one of the committee was seen to be saying on the Facebook group that it looked loads better. You can see right across the woodland now. It wasn't set up so that you could see across the woodland, it was set up to protect wildlife. And a lot of the wildlife disappeared. There was hedgehogs all through the woodland. They have now disappeared. I have not seen a hedgehog in the area for 3 years since they did that. And not happy with chopping the trees down, they started erasing a lot of the greenery. As you can see, there's very few trees left. There was about 1,100 trees in total, because we did a tree count. There was 1,183 trees of different sizes, from mature to saplings, on this site. There's now about 200. And a lot of the trees had ivy growing up them. Some have been left, but the majority got stripped of the ivy and a lot were felled. There was also a problem with kids burning branches, setting fires. And what the committee did is they chopped all the trees down and just left piles and piles of branches everywhere for the kids to burn. And now there's loads of evidence of bonfires where they've been burning all these empty, leftover branches. Also, the discussion was to put a footpath in and to get the route through it declared as a public right of way. But what they have done, it appears that they have actually got the right of way and they've put the footpath in, but as you can see, they've completely erased about 6 feet of greenery off the sides of the path. There's absolutely no reason for this, and there was a lot of unusual plant species in this area and holly bushes, etc., which were food for the holly butterfly, which is a protected red list species, as is the hedgehog. Now, when we did the petition, there were actually two trees on site used for posting the petition, and people who walked through the woodland were actually signing the petition, what we call the petition tree. Basically, a petition was posted on the tree here, which they've actually felled. The first act. This is a tree stump for the tree which hosted the petition to save this woodland, and they've now felled it. Over in the far corner there, that was absolutely thick with trees, and there was a lot of rocks in there which newts were hiding under. And newts are a rare species which aren't meant to be disturbed. Now heading down the black path towards the allotments. And this is the actual edge of the woodland. This bit hasn't changed much. There's some natural springs exit the woodland here which flow down towards the bottom of Beaconsfield Road. Now, this area was absolutely full of hedgehogs. And what they've done, they've completely scraped this out. They've killed all the bushes, got rid of all the greenery, and likely the hedgehogs with it. Those who followed the campaign will have noticed that I did quite a lot of video of hedgehogs running around on this section of Black Path, and they would have been hibernating when this was done. This has been dragged up in the past couple of weeks. Not only have they got rid of all the bushes and got rid of all the greenery, which was incidentally supporting a lot of rare butterfly species on here as well. I have full surveys at home of exactly what the species were on here. And again, yes, they needed a decent footpath through here, but why have they dug up all the vegetation? Why have they turned up all the soil at the sides? Why could they not just have cut out a footpath and left the rest? And that concludes my video.